It's Thursday, July 17th. In the headlines, water restrictions are being considered due to drought. In business news, corporate financial results are out, and the government is seeking $400 million for the Sangster International Airport upgrade. Regionally, Trinidad and Tobago is being considered for World Bank location. And in sports, Jamaica's national stadium renovations to begin in August. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. For the full newscast, head over to Audio and Facebook. Jamaicans are being warned to prepare for water restrictions and reduced supply as the country grapples with worsening drought conditions. The Meteorological Service of Jamaica has declared parts of the island under red alert, citing ongoing disruptions to the country's long-standing rainfall patterns. Principal Director Evan Thompson explained at a post-cabinet press brief on Wednesday that the usual wet season, spanning May to November, has been significantly impacted, with severe dry conditions already emerging.
We have now started not only to look at the seasonal outlook, but we're looking sub-seasonally, where we look at smaller periods of time moving forward. So here we see in the period that we are currently in, going until next week, we are expecting lots of dryness, mainly over the southern part of the island. And you see that large area of reds and browns that is south of the island, but somewhat impacting on the island of Jamaica. And that's what we are expecting over the next few days, but then we are expecting the browns to continue in terms of the dryness continuing over sections of the island going through much of July. Here we have it even going into August, where we have those drier conditions that are expected to be impacting our island.
According to Mr. Thompson, St. James is experiencing drought, while St. Thomas, Clarendon, Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Anne, and St. Mary have seen marked dryness during the early wet season. Mr. Thompson notes that dry conditions are expected to persist in southern parishes through to September, while some relief is anticipated for the west.
With October going through December, that's when we do expect to see a change. As you know, traditionally, we would have an increase in wetness or rainfall as we go through October, one of our primary rainfall season that prepares us for going into the next dry season. So we are expecting that we will have some amount of rainfall, that it will change the picture somewhat, but that is as we go toward the end of 2025.
Speaking at the press brief, Acting President of the National Water Commission, NWC, Garth Jackson, reported that 44 of the Commission's 450 water supply systems, about 10%, have been affected by the drought. He confirms that water restrictions are under consideration for the corporate area due to declining levels at the Hermitage Dam and Mona Reservoir.
So we're about 63% for Hermitage. With respect to Mona, that's a little bit lower, but the volume of water stored is significantly higher. So we have about 404 million gallons in storage. That's about 50% of the capacity. It also is falling at about 1% per day.
Mr. Jackson says several measures are being implemented to manage supply during the dry spell.
So for the urban centers, we are looking at modulating the supplies and actually regulating supplies between discrete supply zones so that we can actually maintain service to all on a daily basis, however reducing the actual output from the facilities.
The National Water Commission, NWC, is advising customers in Rosemount Gardens, St. James, that while water service has been restored to some sections of the community, higher elevation areas continue to experience disruptions due to a mechanical issue. The utility agency says in a statement that its teams are actively working to resolve the issue and anticipate full restoration of water supply to the affected areas by Friday, July 25. In the meantime, the NWC will provide trucked water to the impacted residents to help ease the inconvenience. Customers seeking further information may contact the NWC's toll-free customer service line at 888-225-5692 or reach the Western Regional Office at 888-940-4447. The NWC apologizes for the inconvenience and thanks residents for their patience as restoration efforts continue. The Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC, has received a major injection into its fleet just in time for the upcoming back-to-school rush. Transport Minister Daryl Vaz officially handed over 93 of the promised 100 new buses to the JUTC on Wednesday, vowing improvements in efficiency, comfort, and cost. Denita Rodney tells us more in this report.
It's a welcome boost for commuters across the corporate area. 93 new buses were officially handed over to the Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC. With only 7 units left to be delivered, those specifically being retrofitted for persons with disabilities, Transport Minister Daryl Vaz says the full fleet of 100 will be operational by the start of the new school term.
The rollout includes the first batch of 100 compressed natural gas buses, as I said, 10 of which were specially outfitted to serve members of the special needs community. As promised, they arrived in time for September 24 school term.
The minister noted that the handing over ceremony is a step toward building a transportation sector that works for all Jamaicans.
Today is not just a handover ceremony. It's a milestone, a step forward in our national journey to deliver public transportation that works for all Jamaicans. We are not just adding buses, we are restoring trust, rebuilding systems, and reaffirming our duty to serve.
Added his comments, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness shares that the government's investment in the new buses and a world-class public transportation system isn't about politics, but about progress.
So the investment in new buses and in trying to create a world-class transportation system, it's not about the politics, which people have tried to drag it into a political thing. No, it's about setting the framework for growth for everyone. That's what it is about, and we tend to lose sight of that the investment in public transportation is about making our economy more efficient so that everyone who has to use public transportation can be more productive in their personal or work endeavors.
Reporting for the news on PBCJ, I am Denita Rodney.
In this week's Young Boss feature, we hear from Andrew Blackwood, CEO of Aoki Productions Limited. It's a Jamaica-based entertainment company focused on edutainment through art.
Andre Blackwood, CEO of Aoki Productions, Director for Voices for Jamaica Today Foundation. Aoki is an edutainment record label. Started roughly in 2016. We record music. We definitely want to enter in other spaces or other realms of entertainment like music production. Art, I want to be an author, I want to write books, want to release screenplays eventually. So right now we're at the music production promotion side of things in terms of entertainment. So I've been in entertainment like basically all of my life, so literally surrounded by it. Grew up in Fletcher's Land where, you know, people like Gregory Isaacs, Dennis Brown, Ding Dong, Pampete are from. And it just became like a calling. Like I knew I wanted to entertain people. And I started by promoting events. So I was a part of the Fletcher's Land Police Youth Club. We do, small events like water parties and stuff like that, socials. And I realized I had a knack for it. So it started from there. It's been really good. Actually more positive than I thought it would be. So for like December, we did an event in Fletcher's Land where we teamed up with a number of artists and persons within the industry to focus on gender-based violence, as well as to launch the record label. So we did different topics as well, including the business side of music, brought in experts to come and talk about what it is to start a record label, the different aspects of getting your name registered, getting your business registered. And the response was really overwhelming, really positive, and it's been great. Whew. Self-motivation. And actually learning that failing is really a positive. So you might want things to work out in one way and it doesn't work out, and actually your path is basically shifted towards something better. So that has been it for me. Well, I actually thought about this before coming here. I didn't want to sound cliche, but it really speaks to knowing what you want and having like a winning spirit to know that, all right, things are not going to be exactly how you plan them, and you just have to keep on pushing on and have to basically figure out and keep the mindset as to why you started and what it is that you want to achieve, and definitely believe in your dream as to what you want to accomplish. So you can email us at iokiproductions321@gmail.com or follow us on Instagram at ioki_productions, or even just look us up on Facebook, Ioki Productions Limited.
Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Welcome to today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, here to bring you the stories shaping the financial world and guiding your journey to smarter business decisions. Let's dive into the top headlines. Notable companies on the Jamaica Stock Exchange reports their financial results. Future Energy Source Company Limited, FESCO, audited financials for the 12 months ending March 31, 2025, reports a 12% increase in year-end net profit. Portland JSX Limited, unaudited financials for the first quarter ending May 31, 2025, reports first quarter net loss of US $1.5 million. Caribbean Cream Limited, which trades as Creamy, audited financials for the year ending February 28, 2025, reports a 52% decline in year-end net profit. And Innovative Energy Group Limited, which trades as Energy, unaudited financials for the year ended March 31, 2025, reports year-end net profit of $76.33 million. The government of Jamaica, through its special purpose vehicle, the Montego Bay Airport Revenue Finance Limited, is offering a bond of US $400 million to the international market. Citigroup has been named as the sole book runner for the deal, which is expected to close on July 22. The bond will mature June 2035, 10 years from now, and carries an interest rate of 6.6% per annum. The funds will go towards clean water infrastructure, general administrative expenses, and 6 months of interest payments, which will be set aside in the debt service reserve account. For the trading period ending July 16, 2025, these were the most actively traded stocks. Investment house Sagicor Select Funds Limited Manufacturing and Distribution with 1,554,686 units traded, representing 12.83% of market sales volume. Manufacturing firm Lasco Manufacturing Limited with 1,360,032 units traded, representing 11.22% of market sales volume. Investment house Sagicor Select Funds Limited Financial with 1,204,302 units traded, representing 9.94% of market sales volume. We now shift our focus to the Forex market rate set by the Bank of Jamaica. On July 16, 2025, the Bank of Jamaica reported US $59.84 million purchased and US $50.73 million sold by Forex traders. Forex traders earned $2.21 per dollar, selling the US at $161.29 and buying the US at $159.08. The Canadian dollar netted Forex traders 50 cents per transaction, with selling at $117.31 and buying at $116.81. The British pound yielded Forex traders 55 cents in profit, with selling at $216.02 and buying at $215.47. For the credit report tip of the day, scaling from solopreneur to CEO starts with a funding strategy, and your credit score is step one. Instead of waiting for investors or dipping into your personal savings, take charge. Check your current credit score, pay down revolving debt, open a business credit line, and set up trade lines with vendors who report to bureaus. These actions aren't just financial, housekeeping. They're the first steps to building the kind of credit profile that attracts capital. Do you want to hire a team? Invest in tools or marketing. Secure a workspace. That growth takes money, and your credit score can help you access it faster with better terms and fewer roadblocks. And that wraps up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, reminding you that every financial decision is a step toward your future. Until next time, stay focused, stay informed, and keep striving for success. See you soon.
In regional news, the World Bank, a major international financial institution, could soon set up permanent operations in Trinidad and Tobago. While the details are still being finalized, this move is expected to create new opportunities for private sector investment and support. More details in this TTT News report.
The World Bank could finally be on the verge of establishing a permanent office in Trinidad and Tobago. This was revealed by Minister of Planning, Economic Affairs and Development, Dr. Kennedy Swarat-Singh, while speaking at the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber's Business Outlook event on Wednesday. He said the office could also house the Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency, which provides political risk insurance and credit enhancement to investors and lenders.
Sending us an establishment agreement. The World Bank has wanted to establish an office here with IFC for the last 5-10 years. That establishment agreement is now with the Ministry of Finance, and hopefully we'll take it to cabinet sometime soon. Once the World Bank is established, the World Bank has in it not just the IFC but an agency called MEGA. Many of you would have met at MEGA. MEGA brings with them a a guarantee platform. So you don't need sovereign guarantee. They will help guarantee some of the loans that they are working for and with the private sector.
Minister Swarat Singh said for decades the government of Trinidad and Tobago has been the primary borrower and guarantor in development financing.
It's going to move itself away from using its balance sheet to supporting you with your projects, using your balance sheet, and finding ways to support it using guarantee mechanisms from MEGA, from IDB Invest, and so on. So that's why this is not just simply me saying to you that there's lots of opportunity for you to come and partner with us, but we are going to make all the tools we can make available to support you in making some of that happen.
With dengue cases on the rise, the Trinidad and Tobago government is stepping up its public health response. A multi-agency initiative is now underway involving key ministries and local authorities to tackle mosquito-borne diseases before they spiral out of control. TTT's Kerry Roberts brings us the details.
The government has adopted a proactive and coordinated approach to mitigating potential public health risks with a multi-agency initiative involving the Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government, the Ministry of Health, and the Ministry of Culture and Community Development. Speaking at a public health coordination meeting at Kent House on Wednesday, Minister of Rural Development and Local Government, Khadija Amin, underscored the scale of the effort, noting that it stems from a cabinet directive aimed at addressing mosquito-borne diseases, particularly dengue fever, before they escalate.
Last year, the dengue situation reached crisis proportions. But that was only the tip of the iceberg, because the truth is that for more than 10 years, the insect vector division has not been allowed to function at their full capacity.
Minister Amin criticized what she described as long-standing mismanagement within the Insect Vector Control Division, stating that this resulted in a depleted capacity. She pointed out that several specialized positions remained vacant for years, and while acknowledging the need for more advanced equipment, noted persistent shortages of supplies and chemicals, as well as inadequate storage and office space. The minister added that several regional corporations had stepped in to support the division's operations in the interim. She said that while the Ministry of Health is working to rebuild the division's capacity, this does not absolve regional corporations of their current responsibilities.
Apart from spraying, we have to deal with source reduction. We have many vacant lots that contribute to the situation. We must engage our litter prevention units, and part of our exercise will include revising our litter prevention wardens units and building capacity in every corporation.
The local government minister underscored the need for dedicated units to address the clearing of vacant lots, noting that adequate manpower is also required to effectively support this effort.
We will discuss increasing the manpower at the regional corporation, but also because the URP is now under the Ministry of Local Government, we can source labor there.
MAPS, a new initiative created to help students ditch cramming and improve their critical thinking. The program, led by a local educator in Guyana, blends math enrichment with real-world career guidance from professionals at home and abroad. With students from across the country taking part, MAPS is giving them not just tools to succeed in the classroom, but a clearer path to future opportunities, including scholarships and college admissions overseas. We have more in this report.
MAPS is a program designed to help students move away from the cramming process that they usually undergo with math and help them to involve in critical thinking. It's a twofold program, so what I did is that I wanted to engage students in that critical thinking process, as well as give them exposure to career guidance from professionals here and in the Guyanese diaspora. I had to seek the necessary permission from Queen's College, the ministry, and then we had to, once I got those permissions, I started to organize my resources. I sent out the application form and students applied, and then I recruited students based on that.
And what is the turnout like for that?
The total number of students that I accepted was 39.
And these are students solely from QC? Or?
No. The students come from a wide cross-section of schools across Guyana, including schools like Suicide, West Dem, the New Central High. We had students from Saints, Roses. One topic that I think is very easy that a lot of students try to cram but doesn't require cramming is the circle theorems. It's a question that comes on the math paper every year. And I try to tell students to visualize what's going on instead of actually cramming the stuff, because cramming it won't help you, right? So that is one area that I think really requires you to truly understand what's going on, visualize what's going on, and apply yourself. I tell students a lot of times that math isn't really about calculating things, it's about finding patterns and putting things in different places and perhaps rearranging it into a form that you really understand. We had career guidance from professionals in their fields, certified, qualified people, and they came from a wide cross-section of professions. So we had people from the legal profession, engineering, the sciences, finance. So those are just a few of the professions we had. And I made sure, I tried my best to reach out to reputable individuals. For example, for the legal profession, we had former Member of Parliament, Ms. Geeta Chandan Edmond, and we also had Attorney at Law, Mr. C.S. Ganraj. And for the engineering part, we had Mr. Marcel Gaskin, who is a well-known structural engineer. So yeah, that is what makes it different. I made sure that the people that I get are qualified and they're reputable.
In sports, there's finally movement on a long-awaited upgrade to one of Jamaica's most iconic sports venues. The Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport is set to break ground in August on the long-anticipated renovation of the National Stadium, now 63 years old. But while that ceremony will take place soon, actual construction work isn't expected to begin until next year. Portfolio Minister Olivia Grange confirmed the timeline during a media update this week.
The stadium will be 90% covered. We will have tiered parking, because I know parking and the traffic control has always been a big problem. There will be a generous amount of green spaces. It will have upgraded seating, modern anti-doping facilities, modern media facilities, the sports museum, improved lighting and enhanced spectator amenities.
The renovation project will be led by Ryder Architecture and CAA Icon. The team awarded the contract after a competitive bidding process.
I'm pleased with the work of the United Kingdom firms, Ryder Architecture and CAA Icon, and just to commend the team and the British High Commission for its support.
The last major overhaul of the stadium was back in 2002. Arsenal signed Canada forward Olivia Smith from Liverpool in a deal worth more than £1 million on Thursday. According to the Jamaica Observer, it's a reported women's world record fee set in a lucrative 4-year contract. The transfer of the 20-year-old, who is of Jamaican descent, surpassed the previous women's record set when Chelsea signed Naomi Girma from San Diego Wave for £900,000 in January. And that's it for the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thanks for watching.